Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, bringing you an expanding library of education with even more ways to sharpen your trading skills. Access new online courses, insightful webcasts, articles, engaging videos, and more, all curated just for traders. Plus, guided learning paths with content designed to fit your unique interests. No sifting to find exactly what you need, so you can spend your time learning to trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading. Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, giving you even more specialized support than ever before. Like access to the trade desk, our team of passionate traders ready to tackle anything from the most complex trading questions to a simple strategy gut check. Need assistance? No problem. Get 24/7 professional answers and live help, and access support by phone, email, and in-platform chat. That's how Schwab is here for you, to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Welcome, everybody. Here we go. It's that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, and a very busy downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, as today is Taco Tuesday. Also on Comcast 97, if you're in Manchester, not Taco Tuesday, the Taco Tour, rather. Taco Tuesday. My goodness, Tuesday was 2 days ago. What's wrong with me? Oh, boy, I must be thinking about tacos. Anyway, yes, but I can't get any tacos because I am here. Maybe someone will bring me tacos. Who knows? But, yes, of course, you can also get us online. Hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnarton.com, and you can get access to the show archives, social media links, all of that stuff. But today is Thursday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, 2022. And let's see. We have our first call of the day. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! Texas Mike, how are you?
I'm good. Travel crisis averted. Dealt with already.
Oh, that's good. You were able to get through all the tacos to get to where you're going?
No. Remember yesterday I was talking about how my bus connection for my vacation in a couple of weeks got canceled?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I got my backup plan booked. Just means I have to take probably going to have to take a $115 Uber, but it is what it is.
Why don't you do what EasyG does and take an Uber? I believe it's cheaper.
Uber, same thing.
Well, just download the Uber app.
Yeah.
And you can compare the prices.
Yeah. So now it'll be a Uber ride from DuBois, Pennsylvania to Altoona, Pennsylvania, and then two trains back to Boston with a layover in Philly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, very good.
So just booked that, and it didn't. Basically, all I'm getting back for it is a 50-cent refund, and then I'll have to pay for the Uber or pay somebody to take me from DuBois to like Altoona on the day of.
Uh-huh.
So I'm happy about that. So
well, I'm very happy about that too, Texas Mike. Well done, sir.
Yep.
Where are you now? Are you out enjoying some delicious tacos on the taco tour?
No, I'm actually home relaxing, and then got my date with my lovely lady tonight.
Ooh.
We're going to go see the new Marvel Doctor Strange movie that comes out tonight.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm surprised you don't take her out for some tacos.
I should have.
The road not
Talk
taken.
to you later.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Texas Mike. Bye-bye. Okay. Well, I'm glad he has his travel schedule worked out. I was stressing. Very good. Well, I do want to remind you all, of course, that we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot. And if you are in the Manchester, New Hampshire area, or are planning to be, because I believe the taco tour goes to 8 p.m., the Hop Knot is participating in the taco tour this year. Let's see. This is what they posted on the... I'm trying to get this to load. Facebook, the bane of my... Well, I don't want to say the bane of my existence. That's a little much. People say that. People throw that phrase around very lightly. Let me see if I can pull it up on my phone. So the Hop Knot is participating in the taco tour this year, which is very cool. Let's see. Let me see what they posted here, because I want to make sure I get this right. Yep, comes up on my phone, no problem. Happy Cinco taco tour starts. Well, this is okay. So it's already started. It started at 4 p.m., I believe, or they were blocking off the streets at 3. So the taco tour is in process or in progress right now. Make sure to come by the Hop Knot for some amazing specials. $3 walking tacos, $3 Dos Equis Amber. I think I'm saying that correctly. $10 Dos Equis bucket, which is 5 bottles to a bucket. The walking tacos have seasoned taco meat, Hop Knot beer cheese, Hop Knot jalapeno honey, lettuce, tomato, sour cream, and shredded cheese. And if you want to, of course, they are listed on the map for the taco tour, but of course, they are right across the street from us at 1000 Elm Street in the Brady Sullivan. But there's also online, there is a website you can go to, tacotourmanchester.com. tacotourmanchester.com. So that's got all the information. And if you go to tacotourmanchester.com/map, you can find all of the restaurants, and there's quite a few of them that are participating in the taco tour. And of course, the Hop Knot is number 4 on the map. But and also too, just want to remind you, and it mentions it here too, no trivia tonight at the Hop Knot. Thursday night is usually trivia night, but you know they've got the taco tour, and I think Bill Cini is away, as he didn't do trivia on the morning show this week either. So, but yep. So that's what's going on at the Hop Knot today. Our amazing sponsor. So they are participating in the taco tour, and of course they have the delicious gourmet pretzels and the craft beer, and so on and so forth. But please continue to support our wonderful sponsor as they support us, and we are so honored and proud to have them as a sponsor. They've got a lot of cool things coming up. So we look forward to all of that. Coming up today on the program, I will be joined in the second hour by the People's Mayor, Glenn R.J. Willett. Also, later on after the show, so today is the first Thursday of the month, and the first Thursday of every month, immediately after this show, I call into the Dr. Kevin Show, which streams online on the Ohm Times Radio Network. That's Ohm, O-M, Ohm. The Ohm Times Radio Network at ohmtimes.com/IOM. And Dr. Kevin is streaming from 6 to 7 p.m. And the first Thursday of the month, I call in and we discuss politics. So for those of you, if you get to the end of this program and you go, oh no, I need more Matt Connarton, there is a way that you can get more of me, along with Dr. Kevin. So that will be happening, of course, immediately following this program. I'll be calling into Dr. Kevin's show. So there you go. So the first Thursday of the month is very busy here, very busy. But yes, Glenn will be joining us, and apparently he has a Mother's Day song for us. So needless to say, we are all, if I may speak for us all, and I don't mean to be presumptuous, but I do think it is safe to assume that we are all on pins and needles and are just overwhelmed with the anticipation of the golden-throated and honey-voiced Glenn R.J. Willett, the People's Mayor. And I believe this is Easy G on the line. Eric, is that you?
Yeah, this Facebook, Rocket wasn't able to make the taco tour because I'm so tired all of a sudden. I'm really disappointed, but I got to take care of my health. That comes first.
You sound barely conscious.
Yeah, I just woke up from a nap, but it's not a entirely bad day because I was pretty busy this morning signing some final paperwork.
Huh?
I said I was busy this morning signing some final paperwork because I'm moving.
You're moving? Where are you going?
Yeah.
You moving
over to the west side of Ward 11, believe it or not.
Oh, I thought maybe you were moving out to New York City. Got a taste of the city
life. It's supposed to be
life.
this Saturday, but I don't think it's going to happen. So it's probably going to be the following Saturday. So it's all mine now. So it's just a matter of getting everything over there. So
why are you moving?
Well, it's a better opportunity. It's going to be a studio apartment, be in my own place.
You're going to be in your own place. Wow.
Yeah.
So no more sharing a
Right
bathroom.
now I'm living, with other people and all that fun stuff. So I wanted to share with anybody. It would just be my own place.
Wow, your own place.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
that's my big news for the day. I really wanted to go to the taco tour, but like I said, I got to take care of my health. So
that's right. Although, if you had gone to the taco tour, perhaps you would get some protein, which would help your energy.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like I said, I just woke up from my nap and it's like, oh God, I was just so tired. So I've been pushing, because the other day when you saw me at the studio, I was really tired. So I'm that way again, unfortunately.
Eric, let me ask you a question. Has it occurred to you that what if you're still asleep and this is actually just a dream?
No, I'm awake, but just like I said, I'm just really tired, like I was the other day, unfortunately. But like I said, I got a lot accomplished today. I got my move all set, so it's just a matter of figuring out, it's obviously it's not going to be this Saturday, so it will have to be the following Saturday, which is fine,
Could be a very vivid
dream. More time to get things settled.
Life is but a dream.
Right. So that's my big news of the day. I'm moving on up to the west side.
Moving on up to the west side. I see what you did there. I've
never been to the west side, by the way, so this will be a whole new experience.
To the west side in a deluxe apartment in the sky.
There you go.
Sing it with me.
All right, so I'm going to let you go. I need to get my rest. So I'll listen to the rest of the show. And People's Mayor's coming out, so looking forward to that.
Are you, though? Are you really? Or are you just saying that to be nice?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just making sure.
All right, so like I said, that's my news, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, congratulations, EZG.
Yeah, thank you very much. I thought I announced it on your show.
Wow. Breaking news and exclusive. Well, thank you.
Yeah, well, everybody knows it now, so everybody's listening.
Everybody knows it now.
A lot of people at the taco tour, so I'm sure they're focusing on the tacos.
Yes, probably, yes. But they'll find out later when they listen to this later, after they're digesting their tacos.
All righty, well, I'm going to let you go now and have a great show.
All right, bye-bye. All right, congratulations to EZG.
Boy, you should have known by now, Easy Doe.
He's got a new place, some new digs. He's going to be living alone, huh? They grow up so fast. Well, that does open up a line for you, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007 on this Thursday afternoon. It is Cinco de Mayo. It is the Taco Tour. I almost said it again. I almost said Taco Tuesday. I don't know. You know what it is? It's I was looking for songs to open the show with about tacos, And I found one called Taco Tuesday, but that wouldn't have been appropriate because today is, in fact, Thursday. The other day that starts with T. But 603-250-6007 is the number to call, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat, and we will say hello to everybody in there in a moment. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007. Sorry, I just saw Paulie C's comment in the Facebook live chat. He says, moving out of his parents' house, but he's only 55. Well, you know, I guess it's just time. It's time for the bird to leave the nest. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any children of my own, so I haven't had to see any of them off into the real world. But he's moving on up, and we're very proud of him. No, I'm happy for him. That's good. Because it sounds like in his current living situation, he has to share a bathroom with like 36 other people or something. And I have to tell you, that doesn't sound great. So I'm sure it's an improvement. We will say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. Jenny joins us and says, Shalom, peeps. Mike Pelopita also joins us. Mike from another one of our great sponsors here at WMNH 95.3 FM, Queen City Cabinetry in the historic Sunbeam Mall, named, of course, for the vaunted General Sunbeam, the greatest military mind since sliced bread. And if you go there and you ask nicely, perhaps Mike will even show you the place in the basement where the remains of General Sunbeam are buried in the cement, which I think is wonderful. Texas Mike is in the Facebook live chat. Of course, we heard from him a few minutes ago regarding his travel issues and good problem-solving skills. Eric Pilcher joins us in the chat room. Eric from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and, of course, the host of Eric Pilcher's Classic Film Review. I was just checking out before the show his review for this week. It is for the film The Graduate, starring Dustin Hoffman and...
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Nicole Byer, helping you make those rooms flyer. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild! Like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Ooh, fierce! This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Anne Bancroft, is that who plays Mrs. Robinson? Great movie and a great film review. So you'll get to hear that tomorrow as we do every Friday. So very popular segment here on the program. Dirk Don joins us in the chat. Dirk, of course, from the Arrogant Media and Java Fog YouTube channels. Lots of great content there. I do suggest you subscribe to those. You'll be very glad you did. Dirk says, I will be having a stream tomorrow. Oh, that's right. This is tomorrow night. I won't get to see it live because, of course, I will be on Retro Spectrum Radio. But Dirk will be streaming tomorrow night with Enclave Emily for the fundraising toward the Acer Thorn lawsuit. That begins at 8 p.m. Central, which is, of course, 9 p.m. Eastern on the Arrogant Media YouTube channel. Let's see. And Dirk also shared a link in the chat room for the GoFundMe, the fundraiser for the Sid Alpha Defense Fund. There's a description for this here. Let me just, oh, wow, already raised quite a bit of money. Just to tell you all what this is. And of course, if, you can decide what you want to do, but this is for the Legal Defense Fund for Sid Alpha and the YouTubers that are being sued by Acerthorn in a blatant waste of people's time and money in order to unjustly enrich himself at the expense of others over baseless accusations of copyright infringement, doxing, and harassing. Because we were talking with Dirk recently, and we do talk about these issues on the program from time to time, these frivolous and fraudulent, frankly, these false DMCA claims where someone files anybody who at any level of content creation online, be it on YouTube or anywhere else, although I guess YouTube is where this would be the most prevalent, the biggest issue, but, someone can, if someone doesn't like your content, they can try to have it taken down by filing a DMCA claim, which is essentially they're putting a claim on copyrighted, or what they claim to be their copyrighted material. But people use that as a means, as a mechanism to harass other content creators whose content they don't like. It is illegal. It is absolutely illegal to file a false DMCA claim, but it does go on. It does happen. Says here, Acerthorn's actions are a deliberate attempt to harm other creators without basis and to attempt to cause extreme financial harm, and seeks the deletion of our channels, our YouTube channels. All funds raised will be for the explicit and sole purpose of funding for legal defense. Any funds raised beyond what is needed will be donated to a charity to be voted on by the viewers of my channel. So very good, Dirk. I'm glad that you're doing that. I think it's very much worthwhile. Scott Robinson joins us in the Facebook live chat and says, good afternoon, my fellow Connartonites. Hello, Scott. Rocky Huber also is in the chat room. Rocky says, Easy left me hanging for the taco tour. Anyone else available? Well, if you'd like to accompany Rocky Huber on the taco tour, now would be the time. Rocky says, I should put magic mushrooms on Easy G's pizza. Oh, my goodness. Eric Street joins us in the Facebook live chat and said I was very sick one day, but luckily it was still good enough to do the Celtics game the next day. Happy Cinco de Mayonnaise, LOL. Is that how you say it? Cinco de... I do like mayonnaise. I'll put mayonnaise on a burger. What else? I don't know. Rocky Huber says, hey, Matt Connarton, I went to say hi to Mike at the Sunbeam Mall. I started banging on the floor. I feel I've found a few hollow spots where the general might be buried. Mike didn't have a shovel. Maybe next time. Well, I don't know, Rocky. I don't know if it's necessarily a good idea to actually disturb and to dig up the remains of General Sunbeam. I mean, I think that I would just put a flag wherever you think he is. Just put a flag there. Rocky says just stopped by Forbidden Fruit, which is an adult store. Okay, I'm not falling for that again. Let's see. Tom Blanchard is in the Facebook live chat. Tom said, easy, if you're going to live on the West Side, you're going to develop a French accent. Oh, that'd be fun. I would enjoy speaking with Easy if he had a French accent, as long as he doesn't actually begin speaking in French, because I know very little French. I just know like oui oui or something, French fries. I don't know. That's about all I know. Let's see. Mike Pelopita says that's what I told him, but he was determined. Just leave a flag. All right. Well, very good. 603-250-6007 is the number. 603-250-6007. By the way, I just want to tell you all something. I had a interesting listening experience last night. Now I'm going to leave the name. I'm going to leave all names completely out of this. I won't even refer to this person by the nickname that I've assigned to him. But let me just say this. So last night I was listening to a program online, And it's a program that features both music and some talk. Actually, more music than talk. And also bits. There's comedy bits included in the show that you can just find on YouTube and play. But so I was listening to this program, this podcast, which is really what it is. It's the individual who does the show. He refers to it as internet radio. But the truth is, internet radio is kind of an outdated term. We don't really use that term anymore. These days, we use terms like, well, podcast. The term podcast has actually had an ever-broadening definition. It seems like when that first became a term of art, podcast just meant pre-recorded shows, pre-recorded audio files that were placed online that you could just listen to, stream, and download. And today, the term podcast actually has a much broader meaning. So really, any kind of streaming that you do, you can call that a podcast, or you might just call it streaming or a live stream. You know, there's different terms you can use, but the term quote unquote internet radio, there's something very sort of, 2008 about that term, internet radio. So, but anyway, this, we're talking about a 75-year-old man who does an internet radio show. So he uses old school terminology, and he has a background in CB radio, which apparently he thinks passes for having a broadcasting career. Anyway, so I'm listening to this guy's show, and it was very strange because there's a moment where I guess it was supposed to be 2 hours from 7 to 9 p.m., but there's a moment in the second hour where he announces to the audience, never heard anything like this in my life. He announces to the audience that the show was going to, his internet radio show, was going to be ending early because he was getting a notification on his computer that his computer needed to do an update. Windows needed to do an update. I assume he's using Windows 95. Remember Windows 95? They used Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones in the commercials. Anyway, that's what I assume he was using. Anyway, I mean, it just seems like that would be about his speed. So he... Now, I don't know about anyone else, but me, if for some reason... Well, so here, let's say while I'm doing this program. Now, I bring in addition to the computers that are here at the radio station, I also bring in my own Lenovo computer that I use, and sometimes something will pop up saying that it needs to update, but I always click that I want it to update later because I'm in the middle of using it. But I guess when you're using Windows 95, maybe that's not an option. So anyway, he had to end his show early because his computer needed to update, and he's actually saying on the air, well, Microsoft is forcing us to end the show early. It was very, very bizarre. I'd never heard anything quite like it. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey, Matt, it's me. It's Paulie.
Paulie C., how are you?
Good. Listen, I hear you talking, all right? And you and I are good friends. All right, this show that's mostly music and some talking and some comedy routine.
Yes.
All right. I have Windows 98. It's not Windows 95. Okay? And Microsoft made me close it down the other night. I had to reboot my computer, so I had to end the show early.
I'm sorry, Paul. I appropriated the wrong Windows to you.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra durable pocket hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free pocket pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Well, come on, man. If you're gonna insult me behind my back in front of me on the air, at least get my Windows program right, my OE or my OS or whatever the IT guys call it.
Right. Yes, it's an O. Well, so we call it an OS for operating system, but of course, if you're using Windows 98, you have OE, which is operating equipment, which is what we used to call
AOLE.
Oh, AOLE, yes. Very nice. Wow.
Yeah. It sounds like this guy. What kind of music was this dude playing?
He was playing. Well, you know what? Some of it was just songs that you can hear on any classic rock radio station, but he feels he is.
All right, so it was old stuff.
Yeah, but he feels he is the savior of real rock and roll. He's trying to, because there aren't, 15 different classic rock stations you can just hear on your FM dial in any radio market in the United States. So he feels that he is saving real rock and roll by playing this music, because you can't hear Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones, on any one of a dozen radio stations at any time in any city. No. So he is playing it so that we can all hear it and be reminded of this incredible music. It's just remarkable. It is such a service that he is doing to humanity as he preserves and saves, because he is the savior of real rock and roll. What a guy. Right.
And I know who you're talking about, because one night this happened to him in the past where he had to shut down early. And he was in the middle of playing a song, Paradise City by G&R. And halfway through the song, he gets on the microphone and he says he's going to cut it short tonight. So I got off the computer, the internet, and I turned on my radio, one of the classic rock stations, and the second half of Paradise City was playing. So I was fine.
Oh, crisis averted. Otherwise, what would you have done? You might have never gotten to hear that song again, ever.
That's right. So it was amazing because it picked up right where his left off.
Oh, that's a big relief. I'll tell you.
Axel was saying, "Oh, won't you please take me down?" So, yeah.
Oh boy, that's good. I'll tell you what, because if you hadn't gotten to hear the rest of it, rap music would have won, and the terrorists would have won, and I don't know, aliens would have won. It's so I'm glad that worked out.
Right. Me too. Mm-hmm. But listen, on a true note,
yes.
So I watch a lot of Pluto TV here in my house, and I stream it live just in the background while I'm doing other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, last night I look over at my TV and there's a commercial on for a radio station in Concord, a mainstream radio FM station in Concord, promoting everything and how they give money away every day for their listeners. But at the end of the commercial, they say, "Don't forget to tune into we have the most music and the most fun."
Oh, God. Oh, that makes me want to vomit. I wish I had a bucket here I could just vomit into.
Unbelievable. You get some guy listening to my stupid internet show, and then he goes on his radio station and he steals our logo, our slogan, which we stole from WBCN, damn it.
Really? They used to say that? The most music and the most fun?
More music, more fun. That was the WBCN bumper for
more music,
years.
Wow. I'll tell you.
Which is what we use at Retro Spectrum Radio. The more music, more fun. Every hour on the hour. And last night I saw that on the FM, and I'm like, you know what? Before they even said that, they brought up like a list. They flashed a list on the screen of who they play.
Yeah.
And they don't play anything near what we play. It's just newer Britney Spears, and I think they threw an El DeBarge in the list just for, retro reasons, I guess. But it's just it threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
That somebody was probably listening, and I mean I could be wrong, but I just find that weird that I heard that, and I'm like, wait a minute, the most music and the most fun.
I think that's probably a coincidence.
I stole that.
Right. That sounds like there are no original slogans in radio. I mean, why do you think there's, probably several hundred different radio stations across the country that have a morning zoo radio show?
Right.
Right.
No, you're right. And you know what? In fact, the morning show that I was listening to was called The Morning Show Unleashed with Peter White.
Wow.
So we know what station these people at that station are listening to on a normal day.
Well, we are trendsetters and pioneers of broadcasting, so it makes sense. I mean,
that's right.
I mean, sort of. I mean, we don't have like decades and decades of CB radio experience or anything like that, But but we are pioneers.
That's right. Well, Matt, I will let you get back to your fantastic show. Tune in this Friday night with me and Matt Connarton and Dan Randall from Dan Randall and the Randlets, and DJ Steve as we present the year 1979.
Yes. Looking forward to that very much.
The first in a series.
Oh, excellent.
Going to be doing years.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a good idea. Well, that'll be great. I always look forward to that. Friday is my favorite day.
Yeah, same here. Love it down at the station on a Friday, and so do our listeners.
Absolutely. Yes. More music and more fun.
All right. More music. No, we have the most music and the most fun.
The most music and the most fun, yes. Music and fun.
Did I steal that?
You might have.
All right, Matt, carry on.
All right, Paul. Thanks for the call. Bye-bye. All right, that was our friend Paulie C. And, of course, you can tune into Retro Spectrum Radio every Friday night from 7:30 to 10 p.m. right here on WMNH 95.3 FM. And I do so love my Fridays here. I get to do this show. I get to do that show. Fridays are a lot of fun around here at the station. 603-250-6007 is the number, 603-250-6007. I believe, let's see, who else do we have who is new here in the Facebook live chat? Melanie La Liberty from the great state of Vermont has entered the live chat. Dirk Don says, my shows still wrongly get called podcasts by people. Well, that's the thing, Dirk. It's like I was saying, the word podcast has kind of become a almost a catch-all term, what people think of as a podcast has become so broad. Jenny says, hey, Paulie, looking forward to retro. Mike Pelopita says, now we know why Matt didn't use any names. Well, I don't want to embarrass anybody. It was pretty embarrassing to hear. I mean, the particular individual that this happened to is probably not capable of feeling actual embarrassment and humiliation, because that would require some sense of self-awareness, which I don't think this person is capable of. But I'll tell you, I mean, I've never heard anything like this in my life. They're doing their podcast, and so we're going to have to end the show early because my computer says it needs to update. It's like, wow, that's pretty bad. And you can't just tell the computer. I mean, usually when something like that pops up, what I was saying before Paul called is, I also bring my own laptop. Paul does this too. He also brings his own computer and to use in addition to the equipment that's here. And, occasionally I'll get a notification. It'll say, got to do an update. Do you want to do it now? Or do you want to do it later? And I say later. And then we update it later because I'm in the middle of using it. It's really pretty simple. But you do have to have some sort of literacy, I suppose, to actually read what's on the screen and then make the appropriate choice. But how embarrassed I would personally, I would be very embarrassed if I'm sitting here doing my show and all of a sudden I had to tell everybody, I guess we're ending the show early today because my computer has to update. I mean, I would be so humiliated. I don't think I would ever even attempt to do another show. I think I would just stick to making 10-minute YouTube videos on my phone and just do that. Let's see. Glenn R.J. Willett is in the Facebook live chat and says, you can control that. It's very simple, Matt. Well, that's good to know, Glenn R.J. Willett, in case that has happened to me during the show where this computer, it has said it has to do an update. And I just say, we'll let it do it later. Glenn also says 1979 was a good year. All right. Very good. Very good. We will see. Trudy is in the Facebook live chat, by the way. Hello, Trudy. Tell us more, Trudy. Of course, you always hear Trudy's voice in the commercial for the Hop Knot. If you're just joining us, the Hop Knot is participating in today's taco tour. So make sure you swing by. And if you're looking at the map that is available online, I don't know if they're giving out printed versions of the map or not, but it is available online.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
The Hop Knot is number 4 on the map, but yes, they are participating in this year's taco tour, which I believe is wrapping up at 8 p.m. So come on down. I say come on down because I'm really kind of right in the middle of it, actually. I mean, I'm in this building on the 3rd floor, but the Hop Knot, or I should say the taco tour is happening right down there on Elm Street. Trudy says, miss you. Oh, I'm sorry. Jenny is saying that to Trudy. Miss you. Yeah, Trudy should come in sometime. And it's been a long time since Trudy's been on the show. Let's see. 603-250-6007. 603-250-6007. I do want to get into some stuff, and we have been kind of, it's funny. We for the longest time we were completely consumed by the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and then this week we've been consumed by the news of the draft decision from the it hasn't been it's not official yet, but the leak out of the Supreme Court. But so maybe we'll come back to maybe we'll do some of that in the second hour when Glenn is here, because I do want to revert back to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, at least for a few minutes, because there's an interesting story. I mean, it's all interesting, but a unique wrinkle. So this is from thehill.com, but this is being reported multiple places. Pentagon denies U.S. shared intel to target Russian generals. The reason this is significant, and I haven't had a chance to actually look at the body of the story yet, so we'll learn about this together, but if you've been following this closely, you may be aware that one of the things that is unique and is such a spectacular failure about Russia's invasion of Ukraine is I think the number now is up to 9. And that's only the ones that we know about that can be confirmed. 9 Russian generals killed in battle. And the reason that is such a stunning failure, one of, a long litany of failures by the Russian military who have shown themselves to be inept and incompetent, and morale is reported to be quite low. Many of them don't understand why they're there. There are all kinds of issues. But generals are not supposed to die in battle. Generals are the guys. I mean, look, I've never served a day of my life in the military, but you don't have to know this. Generals are the ones who order other people to go and die in battle. Generals do not die in battle. They're not supposed to. They're the ones in charge. They're the bosses, So it's pretty stunning. And it's not even like, they actually lost a general. Imagine that. Or, wow, they've actually lost a couple of generals. Boy, that's surprising. No. 9 is the latest number we're hearing. 9 Russian generals killed in battle in Ukraine. I mean, that's just, between that and the sinking of the Moskva, I mean, these things are just piling up. These so much has gone wrong and continues to go wrong for the Russians. But so this has come up now. The reason this particularly grabs my attention is one of the things that is so interesting about this whole situation is how the United States and NATO have to kind of walk that line where we're trying to help the Ukrainians as much as we can. And we have helped them tremendously with weapons, ammunition, and so forth, without actually getting directly involved in terms of we don't want to be in a position where we're coming into direct military contact with the Russians, because that could spiral out of control very quickly in a way that would be very dangerous. So, so we're avoiding that. But it's interesting that that this has come up because if the United States is sharing intel specifically to target Russian generals, I would not be surprised by that, but I would not be surprised if the United States was sharing all kinds of intel with the Ukrainians, not only providing the weapons and the armaments, the ammunition, but sharing actual intelligence to, I mean, they're doing so much better than anyone could have expected and have surpassed expectations at a level that is truly stunning and quite inspirational, actually. That you have to believe they're having some help that maybe we don't necessarily see and would be classified. So this got my attention. So again, this is from The Hill. Pentagon denies U.S. shared intel to target Russian generals. I want to look at this. The Pentagon today denied that the U.S. has shared intelligence with Ukraine to target Russian military officials after reports emerged the previous day saying U.S. intel had helped Ukraine kill a number of Russian generals. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby said, quote, "The United States provides battlefield intelligence to help Ukraine defend their country. We do not provide intelligence on the location of senior military leaders on the battlefield or participate in targeting decisions of the Ukrainian military." Now, I have a question. There's more to this, but I have a question. Do you believe him? Because who's to say that that's not happening and but the official line from the Pentagon is, no, we're not doing that because we don't want to cross a line into something that would be perceived as escalatory in terms of our involvement. I mean, we're already pretty heavily involved in terms of what we're providing, but we don't want to cross a line and give the Russians an excuse to say, which I don't think they would take, because Russia, unless Putin is not a rational actor, there's no reason why Russia would want to directly fight NATO, because that would be disastrous for all concerned, including Russia. But I think it is entirely possible that officially, or at least in terms of what the Pentagon will say publicly the line has to be not line as in limit, but line as in rhetorically. The line is, no, we don't do that. We don't help with the targeting of senior military officials. Whereas, in fact, maybe they are, but they're able to, they're leaving themselves enough plausible deniability to say that they're not, which I think is fine and perfectly appropriate. Look, if you're a regular listener, you know my position. I love that Russian generals are getting killed, and I love that it's embarrassing for the Russians, and I love watching the Russians continue to fail. As I always say, one of life's great joys is watching evil fall on its face and fail. So I would like to see that number. I'd love to see a 10th Russian general has been killed and an 11th, and I think that's great. And if we're helping that happen, as long as the Pentagon can leave itself enough plausible deniability where it cannot be proven, and I don't know how you would prove it, that intelligence has been shared that directly contributed to the targeting and killing of these generals, I think it's great. Kirby declined, again, this is from The Hill, Kirby declined to elaborate on specific examples of intelligence sharing from the podium. Yeah, I would not expect him to elaborate on that. However, he noted that Kyiv combines intelligence from multiple sources in order to make battlefield decisions. Now, that's a smart thing to say. How are you going to, how is Russia going to, here's the thing. I don't see how Russia could claim, if intelligence is coming from multiple sources, how is Russia going to say, well, we think that the United States provided this specific intelligence, which resulted in this general being killed? Yeah. I mean, there's no way to make that case. Kirby said, quote, Ukraine combines information that we and other partners provide with the intelligence that they themselves are gathering, and then they make their own decisions and they take their own actions, unquote. Smart way to explain it. Multiple Russian generals have been killed during the war between the two countries, which has continued into its third month. The New York Times reported yesterday that the U.S. has provided intelligence to Ukraine that helped the country kill several Russian generals. The information, according to the newspaper, was part. The Hill needs a proofreader. This isn't me making mistakes. This is just poorly written. Was part of a program aiming to help Ukraine with real-time intelligence. Wow, this did not get proofread at all. It actually says WIT, real-time intelligence, WIT, W-I-T. Anyway, I'm picky about that kind of thing. Earlier today, National Security Council spokesperson Adrian Watson told The Hill that the U.S. does provide battlefield intelligence to Ukraine, but criticized how the Times framed its story. Watson said, quote, the headline of the story is misleading, and the way it is framed is irresponsible. The United States provides battlefield intelligence to help the Ukrainians defend their country. We do not provide intelligence with the intent to kill Russian generals. No, but I'm sure they're happy to see it happen. Aside from intelligence, the U.S. has given Ukraine roughly $3.7 billion in security assistance since the invasion began. The Pentagon has also ramped up training Ukrainian troops on artillery systems. But I do wonder. So again, is it true? I mean, look, let me say this. We have as far as I'm concerned, the United States has no obligation whatsoever to be honest with the Russians about anything. So in other words, if there are things that the United States is doing that we don't necessarily want Russia to know about, I mean, the Russians lie all the time. So I don't feel like we have to be honest brokers necessarily. You know what I mean? The reason I say that is one of the things that has been discussed is why. This is a question that people like former Russian ambassador Michael McFaul have raised. Why do we have to broadcast everything that we're doing? And what I mean by that is, and this came up when we first started talking about those MiG fighter jets and how we were going to get them, and that was ultimately taken off the table, which I think is fine because it seems like the drones are more effective in this way anyway. But why do we have to publicly announce everything that we're doing? Now, we actually do have to, and there's a reason. But in a less imperfect world, we should be able to, in theory, give Ukraine whatever they need without telling everybody, here's what we're supplying Ukraine, and then not having to get into the paint of, well, what is okay to provide and what is not okay to provide. And that got very messy with the thing with the fighter jets and Poland making an announcement about fighter jets. It caught the United States off guard about the plan for, Poland would, I don't even remember. It was very confusing. Somehow they were going to get these fighter jets from Germany to Poland, and then from Poland to Ukraine, and then the United States was going to backfill the supply of the jets, but Poland went ahead and made an announcement about it without the United States approving it. It turned into this whole messy thing. And I remember Ambassador McFall, who I've not agreed with on everything. He's said some things that I just don't agree with about in terms of NATO's involvement in this. He thinks that we should be more involved, and I think that we have to be very cautious. And we've talked about that. But a point that he made, and others have made this point too, it's not just him, is that why can't we just do this quietly? Quietly put into Poland whatever we want Ukraine, whatever we need Ukraine to have, and then you figure out how the Ukrainians go into Poland, and because you have to be careful about how you then transfer these things. Because, again, you don't want to trigger Article 5. And so others have said this, too. Why do we have to announce everyone? Why do we have to show our list to the world? And why do we have to play this game where we say, well, okay, we'll provide all of this, but maybe not the fighter jets, because the fighter jets might push us over that line where the Russians see that as escalatory, and therefore now we're on course to have a direct confrontation with Russia, because the MiG fighter jets, that's just a bridge too far. Everything up to that is fine. It becomes kind of silly, right? I would prefer that if we could just quietly give them whatever they need. We are under no obligation to communicate to the Russians, hey, here's what, hope you don't mind, we're giving the Ukrainians all of this to fight you.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Please don't get into war with us over it, because at least we're not giving them these fighter jets. The problem is, though, again, in a less imperfect world, I would love to just do that quietly. The problem becomes this. Politically, it's untenable, because if the Biden administration does not clearly state, here's what we're doing. This is all the money. I mean, you can't hide that part, right? As far as the size of the package that's being voted on, or whatever, however much money we're spending on weapons for Ukraine. But if everything isn't spoken out loud, then what happens is those who would oppose the Biden administration take that opportunity, because we've already seen some of this, to say, oh, they're not doing anything. They're not telling us, because that would be the narrative. Republicans would say, well, they're not doing anything. It's like, no, they are doing everything. They're just not broadcasting it. Okay, but I don't see what they're doing, so I guess they're not doing anything. Part of what feeds into that, too, is it's not just the politics of it from those who would oppose the Biden administration, but it's also just people's perceptions. People tend to think of these things in a very binary way. So you'll often hear people say, well, we have to do something. Why aren't we doing anything to help? And it's like, well, we're actually doing a lot. We're actually doing a tremendous amount. What was the package? What was the price tag on that last aid package for Ukraine? $3.7 billion, I think, right? So we're doing a lot. We're doing a hell of a lot. But some people just, I'm not talking about now politicians. I'm just talking about people who I just see and hear online commenting about this. It's as though in some people's minds, and again, we live in a country of binary thinkers, if we're not directly at war with Russia, then that means we're not doing anything. So we're either getting into World War III or I guess we're not doing anything. Again, that's not based in reality, but that's just the way some people think. You know, it's people think in extremes. So we're either doing everything or we're doing nothing. And it's hard to communicate to some people, well, we're actually doing a lot. Maybe we're not doing all that you think we should be, because we want to approach this with some caution and restraint so we don't get into World War III. And I think the Biden administration has done a really good job of that, of being cautious and not just, recklessly getting us into a confrontation directly with Russia. But that's why politically it's untenable to do this quietly. I would love to do this quietly. I would love to give Ukraine absolutely everything, every piece of equipment, every piece of ammunition, everything they could possibly need to repel the Russians. And I would love to not know, not have any idea what's on that list. But you can't do anything quietly with this, unfortunately. That's just the political reality of it. I think there was one other thing on this that I wanted to, and then we'll get to a break in a minute, and Glenn R.J. Willett is going to be joining us. But by the way, hello to Scott Perry, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. Scott does a great political podcast called Courtesy Call. And he says in the chat room, episode 54 will be available for download this Sunday, May 8th. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. The episode will be available at 10 a.m. It's been a number of weeks since there's been a new episode of Courtesy Call, but that's fine. But be sure to check that out. There was something else on the Russian invasion of Ukraine, a quick thing that I wanted to look at. I don't know. Maybe we should just go to break. I don't. This is what it was. This was the other thing. This won't take long, but we were talking about this the other day. Sergei Lavrov made a claim that upset Israel, of course, who have tried to remain uncomfortably neutral in all of this. Claiming that Hitler was part Jewish and trying to use that as this weird, twisted form of not Holocaust denialism necessarily, but sort of acting as somewhat of an apologist for the Holocaust, which is baffling for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that the Russians did fight the Nazis, but they're trying to figure out a way to justify the war, the invasion in Ukraine, as Putin called it, denazification when Ukraine is actually sitting there with a Jewish president, Volodymyr Zelensky. But just an update on this. This is from Reuters. Israel says Putin apologized for foreign minister's Hitler remarks. It says here, Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett said today that Russian President Vladimir Putin had apologized for his foreign minister's comments claiming Adolf Hitler had Jewish origins. Putin also told Bennett in a phone call that Russia would allow civilian passage. Well, we know not to believe that because they've lied about that over and over. Civilian passage from the besieged Azovstal steelworks in the Ukrainian port of Mariupol via a humanitarian corridor handled by the UN and Red Cross. Bennett's office said Israel's prime minister had requested civilian passage from the steelworks after an earlier conversation with Zelensky. Israel lambasted Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov for this week for saying Adolf Hitler had Jewish roots, describing the remarks as unforgivable, an unforgivable falsehood that debased the horrors of the Nazi Holocaust. Lavrov made the comments on Sunday when asked why Russia said it needed to denazify Ukraine if Zelensky was himself Jewish. Lavrov said at the time, quote, when they say, what sort of Nazification is this if we are Jews? Well, I think that Hitler also had Jewish origins, so it means nothing, unquote. Which, by the way, is not only offensive, but it's also completely illogical in terms of using that as an argument. Even if that were true, that it still wouldn't make sense as an argument. By the way, Glenn R.J. Willett, the People's Mayor, is here. Hi, Glenn.
Hi.
After the call with Putin, Bennett said he had accepted the apology and thanked the Russian leader for, quote, clarifying his regard for the Jewish people and the memory of the Holocaust, unquote. Yes, how magnanimous of him. Israel, which has sought to keep good ties with Kyiv and Moscow, has acted as an intermediary, although an Israeli official said Bennett had suspended those efforts in late March to deal with the spate of Arab street attacks in Israel. The latest phone calls with Putin and Zelensky suggested Israel may be resuming mediation efforts. And I don't, not to be cynical or pessimistic, but I don't expect much to come out of that. Hello, Glenn R.J. Willett, the People's Mayor.
How are you doing today?
I see you brought flowers again.
Well, it is Mother's Day weekend.
I'm not a mother. How dare you?
No, I don't expect you to be a mother.
Oh, good. Thank you. That's a big relief.
You'd be in trouble if you were, right?
I suppose, yes. Well, you know, I did receive an X-ray of my chest on Christmas night 2019 when I had that asthma attack, and it turns out I do have fallopian tubes.
You're funny.
Oh, no, it's true. I'm a freak of nature. What did you do on your television show today, Glenn?
I did a live concert from Edmonton, Alberta for Mother's Day. The three young men, 15, 16, and 18, who wrote their own Mother's Day songs.
Ooh.
Very cool.
Wow.
They also wrote a song called Break Down the Walls. And these are three teenagers that are really educated and up to date on what's going on with the issues. And it bewilders me that I have faith. I still have faith in the young generation that there are still good people out there in the world.
That bewilders me as well. No, I'm kidding. No, that's that's very good.
There's a lot of people downtown.
Yes, well, it is the taco tour.
It is. The sad thing is, though, that we live in a world today, and even the city is no different than the rest of the world, that when you have a festival, a lot of people in an area, you have to not only close the road, but make sure there are big trucks in every road so that people don't try to bust through. It's sad, isn't it? We've come a long ways to go where? Nowheres.
You might say we're on the road to nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you like talking heads?
I like tacos.
Oh, well, very good. Oh, taco heads. Now, I'm trying to load Facebook Messenger because you sent me some new music. Now, I understand you sent me a beautiful Mother's Day song. Is that correct?
No. Who told you that?
You said in here you've got a Mother's Day song, or you've got a mother's song.
Oh, well, they sang it in the concert. I got you the song that just came out today with me singing
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles Mackenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip: when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
With the 3 teenagers on.
You sang with them.
Yes, I sang the chorus. I let them. Their song was so good I couldn't take it away from them. It's theirs.
Right, but you still sang the hook.
I sang the chorus.
Yeah, the hook.
The hook. Yeah,
we call it the hook.
Okay.
You got to get with the lingo.
Yeah.
Glenn RJ will.
What I sent you was that very song. The last one is 3 minutes and 50 seconds. It's the name of that is called "Breaking Down the Walls." It's very good.
Is it an original?
Yes, they wrote it.
They wrote it. Wow. And they let you sing the hook.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, I was impressed. I thought it was great. It sounded very good. All 4 of us.
Jenny in the chat room says, "I think the flowers got bigger. Are those the same flowers or are those different flowers?"
No, actually, this is a small one, but I have a bigger flag.
Yes, I noticed that. Your flag has gotten bigger.
The American flag is growing.
Well, Glenn RJ Willett, based on that, let me just say this to you. As Sean Hannity likes to say on his program, you're a great American.
Well, so are you.
Thank you. But you'd be even a greater American if you would renounce your Canadian citizenship.
It would be even more shameful if I renounced my American citizenship. I'm dual citizen, so what's the problem?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, Ted Cruz did it. I don't know why you can't.
Because Ted Cruz, to be honest about it, he's a creep. Did you see him in Ohio?
I think the beard works for him.
Oh, my God. I mean, this is the guy who will bend over backwards to get what he wants with Trump, but then he campaigns in Ohio, and he talks about how Trump accused his father of helping to assassinate President Kennedy.
Yes.
And wow, talk about a turncoat.
Yes. Thank you, Rocky. Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you very much.
What's that? It's from the Hopknot? Oh, perfect. All right. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, the Hopknot.
Yes. Well, our friend Rocky Huber just dropped off tacos for us from the Hopknot.
Oh, nice.
So that is remarkable.
Thank you very much.
And wonderful. He's a very generous man.
Yes.
And of course, the Hopknot, our amazing sponsor. Well, this I anticipate that hearing this song will make me hungry.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, Glenn.
Is your mother still around?
Yes, she is.
You going to call her on Mother's Day?
Of course I will. What do you think I am?
No,
some half Canadian?
I say that because there are a lot of people who don't call their mothers on Mother's Day, and then when they pass away, they say, "Oh, I miss her." Well, you should have missed her. You should not have missed her when she was around. It's important that we recognize both our parents on those holidays because they raised us for good or bad. I'm not unhappy with my parents. I had a good upbringing, and And it's important that you have parents. If you don't have parents as a kid, you will never find out what's right and wrong. You do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And that's what's wrong with a lot of people today. A lot of kids don't have parents that care enough to really look after their kids. It's a sad thing.
But what if, let's say, I mean, you say you won't know right or wrong without your parents, but what if your parents are, involved in organized crime?
Well, I'm lucky mine were not.
I mean, then you're just being raised in
more crime.
In more crime. I mean, that's you know.
I will say that we need to thank our grandparents because today in America, as in other countries, a lot of our grandparents are taking care of their children's children because their children can't do it either because they're addicted or they have problems they can't handle. And so thank you, grandmothers, for going overboard, above and beyond you already raising your kids, and now you're raising your grandchildren. That's very well worth mentioning.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Let's get to a break. We will play your new song. What is this called again?
Breaking Down the Walls.
Breaking Down the Walls. Glenn got to sing the hook.
The hook.
The hook. And we might play one other thing after that too, because I want to go eat a delicious taco, and then we will be back. We'll show some love to our amazing sponsors, and then we will be back. We'll be well into hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed. Don't go away.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Styles McKenzie helping you make those rooms sing. Today's style tip. When it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild, like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Arr, fierce. This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
We interrupt this program to bring you an important Wayfair message. Wayfair's got style tips for every home. This is Nicole Byer, helping you make those rooms flyer. Today's style tip, when it comes to making a statement, treat bold patterns like neutrals. Go wild! Like an untamed animal print area rug under a rustic farmhouse table from Wayfair.com. Ooh, fierce! This has been your Wayfair style tip to keep those interiors superior.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Here's Glenn.
The Melazizwa Brothers original collection arrangement, the song called Break Down the Walls. The brothers are Mark, Seth, and Zachary. Also sung in this duet with the voice of Glenn Will let Lodge go on global on 95.3 FM. Enjoy Break Down the Walls. Break down the walls, let it fall. Don't hold back at all. We got to break down the walls. Don't wait too long. We've got to reassault. The world began to fall when we started building walls. Walls that were made to protect us began to divide us. Walls of race, religion, poverty, and fear. Nations are divided, people fighting, the only way to stop them. Break down the walls, let it fall. Don't hold back at all. We got to break down the walls. Don't wait too long. We've got our reassault. Why are people hungry when others have so much to eat? Why are people homeless, living on the street? It's all because of greed. Give them what they need. Why should I hate another because of the color? People, can't you see? Break down the walls, let it fall. Don't hold back at all. We gotta break down the walls. Don't wait too long. We've got our reassault. We gotta break down
walls, let it fall. Don't hold back at all. We gotta break down the walls. Don't wait too long. We've gotta free us all.
Come on. Everything feels wrong. Separated by walls. United, we stand. Divided, we fall. Stop the shooting and killing. Too many people dying. Brothers and sisters shouldn't be split apart. Come on, don't you have a heart? Mothers and fathers on the streets, struggling with poverty. Come on, people, can't you see? We just need to be free. We can't hold back anymore. We're breaking down the walls.
Break down the walls. Let it fall. Don't hold back at all. We gotta break down the walls. Don't wait too long. We've gotta free our soul. We gotta break down the walls. Let it fall. Don't hold back at all. We gotta break down the walls. Don't wait too long. We've gotta free our soul. Break down the walls.
Thanks for listening and watching Little Loud Strong Global on 95.3 FM. Hope you enjoyed it.
Welcome back, everybody. We are well in hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And, of course, hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. The taco tour is in progress in downtown Manchester. And thank you again to our friend Rocky Huber, who brought Glenn and I tacos from the Hop Knot, our amazing sponsor. Glenn is still out in the hallway enjoying his. He'll be rejoining us shortly. I ate most of mine, but they're big. There's a lot to them. They're really, really good. So I'll probably finish. I'll gobble the rest of mine down later, right before I call into the Dr. Kevin show. But yes, the Hop Knot is participating in the Facebook live chat. Rocky says no recognition needed. LOL. Well, we want to make sure, Rocky. No, we always try to remember to say thank you to everybody. And if we forget to, it's an honest mistake. No, but everything's all good with that. But Rocky's very sweet, very, very, and very generous. And we appreciate that very much. And of course, we appreciate our amazing sponsor, the Hop Knot, who is participating in the taco tour this year. And the taco tour goes to 8 p.m., I believe. So if you're on your way to Manchester, make sure you get some tacos. So there you go. No trivia night, by the way. They are not doing trivia tonight at the Hop Knot because they're doing the taco tour. And I think Bill Cini might be away this week. So, by the way, also, it is the first Thursday of the month, which means that tonight at 5 p.m., at 6 p.m. rather, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. is already come and gone. No, at 6 p.m. tonight, immediately after this show, I will be calling in to the Dr. Kevin Show, as I do the first Thursday of every month. The Dr. Kevin Show airs online on the Ohm Times Radio Network, Ohm, O-M, as in Ohm. ohmtimes.com/IOM will get you there directly. And I go on the first Thursday of the month, and Dr. Kevin and I discuss what else? Politics and current events. So for those of you who get to the end of Matt Connarton Unleashed, I can't say it all of a sudden. Oh, that taco is so good. I'm thinking about finishing that taco, but I will be disciplined and wait. No, but for those of you who get to, I hear Glenn over there going, it is really good. For those of you who get to the end of today's program and you go, oh my goodness, I need more Matt Connarton, there is a way that you can get, what a fascinating post in the Facebook live chat. You can, sorry, I'm very distracted by what just appeared. If you get to the end of today's show and you need more Matt Connarton, you can get another hour of me on the Dr. Kevin Show. A new name in the Facebook live chat just appeared. Let's see. This is Kenneth Michael. He writes this. How I got cured from the herpes virus. I was diagnosed of herpes virus, and I have tried all I can to get cured, but all to no avail until I saw a post in a health forum about an herbalist man who, you know what? I'm gonna read this exactly as it's written. I'm not going to self-correct as I go. I'm going to read it exactly as it's written. This will be a fascinating exercise, I think. How I got cured from herpes virus. I was diagnosed of herpes virus, and I have tried all I can to get cured, but all to no avail until I saw a post in a health forum about a herbalist man who prepare herbal medications to cure all kind of diseases, including herpes virus. At first, I doubted if it was real, but decided to give it a try. When I contacted this herbalist via his email, and he prepared a herpes herbal cure and sent it to me via Kenneth Delivery Company service. When I received this herbal medicine, by the way, yes, this is all one long sentence, he gave me step-by direction on how to apply it. After applying the way I was instructed, I was totally cured of this deadly disease called herpes, all thanks to Dr. Kenneth. And, oh, I wish I'd thought of that. Rocky Huber suggested a dramatic reading. I wish I'd thought of that, Rocky. Oh, well. Maybe we'll get another post and I can do it in the form of a dramatic reading. Jenny says, what in the actual F? And Charles Richardson says, spam? Yes, I suspect so, Charles. Charles Richardson joins us in the chat, of course, from the great state of Florida and hosts of The Charles Richardson Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night from 7 to 9 p.m. online. What do you think, Glenn? Spam, or is this Kenneth Michael just trying to be very helpful?
One or the other, or maybe both.
Right.
I don't know him, so.
I don't know him either. It's a new name to me.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Well,
I'm not going to make a judgment because I don't know him.
Yeah, now he did include some information, but this isn't somewhere where you can just hawk your wares.
Yes, and it's
as a great man once said.
It's a topic you don't normally hear on the radio.
That's true. Well,
But
actually,
it's informational, I guess.
Unless it's Loveline with hosted by Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla, which I don't think is even on anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that show's long gone. Mm-hmm. But if you'd like to join us, or perhaps you want more information from Dr. Kenneth, you can give us a call at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007. Our friend Dirk Don, of course, from Iowa, and he's got the Arrogant Media and the Java Fog YouTube channels. Lots of great content there. He will be streaming live Friday night, in fact, beginning at 9 p.m. with Enclave Emily, and that will be, no doubt, very informative. But are you getting a call, Glenn?
No.
Oh, okay. Dirk just posted something in the Facebook live chat, which is very long, much like our comment from Dr. Kenneth. And so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to read Dirk's comment, but I'm going to fulfill the request of our friend Rocky Huber, who just brought us those delicious tacos.
Delicious.
I'm going to read Dirk's comment in the form of a dramatic reading.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for this, Glenn?
I'm ready.
This is a very popular feature on the show. People love my dramatic readings. I apply a lot of, drama and gravitas. And, they say I'm like a great thespian or something. I get into the character.
That's a good thing.
Thank you. Oh, and Rob Dion is also excited. He says, yay, dramatic reading. All right. This is a very, very popular thing. All right, here we go. I like to wear a elaborate Jar Jar Binks costume and mask as part of my everyday life. I went to the grocery store and saw how depressed everyone was, so I thought I would help. I started dancing in the aisles and yelling at people and running up to people and taking things out of their cart. It was great fun. Then, when I went to check out, there was only one lane open and a long line. I screamed and screamed while in line and danced, bumping into other people. I opened a box of baking soda and threw it around. Finally, I got to the checkout. I started making noises at the cashier, and I kept pressing buttons on the computer. Some people in line were groaning because the line was getting very long, but that gave me even more incentive to make them laugh. I climbed onto the table and started kicking people's groceries on the floor and singing. The manager and one of his goons pulled me off and said I could never shop there again. Can I sue for harassment or possibly assault?
Well,
and scene.
Assault? Where's the assault?
Well, they assaulted his pride, his dignity.
His pride.
He was trying to help.
He needs to swallow his pride.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Rob says we need background music for this. I wish I'd thought of that. Rocky Huber says maybe a little smooth jazz during the dramatic reading next time. Oh, perhaps. That's actually, that is a very good idea. Some smooth jazz. Wow. Well, I feel badly for, when I'm at the supermarket and someone begins singing and dancing and trying to make things fun, I enjoy it. How about you, Glenn R.J. Willett?
Certainly.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever take the initiative to do that yourself? Do you ever, because you do have a golden throat.
I do not have.
The voice of an angel.
I do not.
Do you ever, when you're at the store, do you ever just spontaneously break out into song?
No.
Okay. It happens in musicals.
I'm sure it does.
Why not just pretend you're in a musical and just start singing?
A grocery store, for example, is not a musical.
But anywhere. I mean, a musical can happen anywhere. You could be in line at the grocery store and just all of a sudden just be, we are in line at the grocery store.
Do you do that in your shower? Sing?
I don't discuss that, Glenn.
Oh.
That is a subject for Matt Connarton Unsheathed, and that's behind a paywall.
Not Unleashed.
No, that's a very different show. Okay. On a very different platform.
Mm-hmm.
But 603-250-6007. Rob Dion is asking, why the flowers, Glenn R.J. Willett?
Mother's Day weekend?
Uh-huh. So the flowers are for your mothers.
Well, yeah, for your mothers.
Yes. Here's to your mother, to quote Vanilla Ice.
My mother has passed, and...
well, here's to your mother.
I'm sure she's happy wherever she is.
And I would just add, as third base said, the cactus turned Hammer's mother out.
Really?
Remember when we almost got murdered a few years ago by MC Hammer for talking about his mother?
Yeah.
Those were tense times, Glenn R.J. Willett. I thought we were both in terrible danger. And I had to pull out, for those who remember, I had to pull out my hip-hop alter ego, M. Sizzle, and I had to do a couple of diss tracks to get Hammer to back off.
Wasn't it mostly drama, though?
Wasn't it mostly what?
Drama.
Drama?
Drama.
Why do you pronounce it like Archie Bunker?
Drama. I have an accent.
You sure do. It was very tense. Rob Dion said, did I miss Ron's call? We haven't heard from Ron. I think Ron's taking a break, but Ron did apologize, and which was very nice. Oh, too soon, Rob says. Well, actually, in a way, it's too late because things have been resolved with our friend Ron, from what I understand, which is a great thing. A great thing. 603.
So you're saying you should apologize before you resolve the issues?
Well, apologizing is a good way to resolve issues.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Very good way to communicate.
Absolutely. Let's see. 603-250-6007. By the way, you received an apology. It was, but I don't know if you actually heard it.
You told me about it.
I did, yes. John Hopwood apologized to you.
And I accepted it.
And you accepted, yes. But you and John, you have had many arguments over the years.
We have. We're friends, but we don't always agree on everything. And, I certainly did not go out with 6 women to get them pregnant. That's for sure.
I think he was assuming that because of your virility.
Oh, what virility? Come on. I was married 12 years and had 6 kids with the same wife.
Oh.
So I don't know where he even got the idea that I went out with 6 different women while I was married.
Well, he didn't say while you were married.
No, but he knows my story, so it's not like he doesn't know it. But anyway, it's fine.
Some of these truckers, they go all over the country and they just...
But I'm not a trucker.
How do I know?
I'm not.
You could have a secret life as a trucker, and you just travel all over the United States and father children, for all I know.
I spent too much time in Manchester to do that.
That's true. Yes, that is true. By the way, Glenn, so I have something interesting to tell you. Now, I have to... it is very important to leave names completely out of it for confidentiality. Mm-hmm. I don't think the particular individual this is about would mind at all. Actually, in fact, I'm quite sure of it, but still, for confidentiality reasons, I must leave his name out of it because I didn't ask him first. But years ago, when you were doing We'll Let It Large in the downtown in the basement there, the lobby at the Beacon Building.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called, right?
The Beacon Building. Yeah.
And that studio that you had set up there, and Friday nights we would do that show.
2
there.
hours.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, those were good times.
Mm-hmm.
But do you remember? And again, no names, but do you remember I hypnotized someone in studio live on your show?
Could be. It certainly wasn't me.
No, it was not. No, but maybe you don't remember. But yes, a friend of yours wanted to quit smoking, and I hypnotized that gentleman live on the air on your program.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep. Well, I had during the day I see clients, and today I had that same individual all these years later. That was like, 10 years ago?
At least.
All these years later, I did a session today with that same person.
Wow.
Yeah. So... it's just kind of funny. Kind of funny how that works.
I'm about to do it again.
To do what again?
I'm opening up a radio station.
You are?
That's my dream. So.
Are you going to compete with us?
No, I'm not going to compete with you.
Are you working with the guy from New York?
No, it's internet. Of course not. That guy? No way.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's somebody gave him some help.
My radio TV stations are on the internet, so they're global.
Yes.
They're not. They'll originate from here, but...
Glenn, can I ask you a question?
What's that?
What would you do if you were... So let's say you're in the middle of broadcasting while you're doing your internet, your show on the internet, on your station.
Mm-hmm.
And a notification pops up on your computer that you're using that says you have to restart to update. What would you do?
I would say, oh, no, and immediately say, not now, please.
Right. Yes.
Later.
Yes, of course. Yeah, that would be common sense, wouldn't it?
Because sometimes it takes a long time.
Because to actually end your broadcast early to do that would be kind of embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Not only that, it's not good. It's not good radio or TV, and it's not good for your fans, for your listeners or viewers.
Oh yeah, I mean, it would show a complete disrespect for them.
It's an embarrassment.
It is an embarrassment, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, if you actually did that, right? Let's say you went ahead and you ended the show early to restart, you'd probably You'd probably never do another show. You'd be so
Probably.
embarrassed. Yes.
That'd be quite a malfunction, wouldn't it?
Just go hide somewhere and just never, maybe just take up CB radio or something.
Crawl under the culvert.
Under the what?
The culvert.
What's that?
A culvert is a
The Corvette?
No, the culvert.
Is this a French thing?
No, French accent. It's a hole in the ground that covers for the water to come through across the street, for example.
Ah, yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I didn't know that's what it's called.
In French?
Rob Dion says, sounds like something CJ would do. Oh, my goodness. Well,
Really?
Well, Rob, I mean, I don't know. I may or may not have been referring to a specific person and a specific incident that happened last night during their broadcast, with a computer that they have
malfunction
Windows 95 on it, and suddenly had to end their program early. Let's see. So I saved this because we've been talking about this subject quite a bit this week on the program, Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
So I have this story here from USA Today, and it goes to something I've been talking about. This week has been heavily dominated, not so much by the war in Ukraine, but by the the leak of the draft decision pending from the Supreme Court about Roe v. Wade. And I've been expressing, and you seem to agree, and so did John and Mike Doyle also, about making sure that contraception is available. If you really want to drive down the rate of abortion, making sure contraception is available, being pro-contraception, pro-education, pro-resources for women, and so forth. I found this article from USA Today. How many abortions are actually performed in the U.S.? Rates have declined for decades.
Really?
Yeah, and I was talking about this the other day.
That's good to hear.
As birth control becomes more readily available, and as there's more education and so forth, the rate of abortion in this country has already been on a steady decline year after year. The rate of unwanted pregnancy has been declining. The rate of teen pregnancy has been declining. So we've been trending in the right direction with all of this. But and I didn't get a chance to really pre-read this, but it looked like worthy of examination. It says here, abortion rates in the United States have been falling steadily for decades, long before restrictive statutes began to make the procedure difficult to obtain in some areas. Experts say access to better birth control is one of the main reasons. Abortions in the U.S. peaked in 1981 at a rate of 29.3 per 1,000 women between ages 15 and 44, according to the CDC. Since then, the number has fallen by 3/5. In 2019, the last year for which numbers are available, the rate was 11.4 per 1,000 women. The decline has been seen in almost all states, regardless of whether abortion access was restricted, according to research by the Guttmacher Institute, a research group that supports abortion rights. But that could change if the sweeping protections of Roe v. Wade are overturned. Caitlin Knowles-Myers, a professor of economics at Middlebury College, said if abortion is severely restricted or banned in the 26 states where it is anticipated, should Roe be overturned, the number of abortions in the nation could fall as much as 13%. Research has shown that increases in distance to clinics are associated with lower abortion rates, especially for women with limited resources and difficult personal circumstances. Myers and her team calculated the vast majority of women in states where abortion likely would be banned or strictly limited would have to travel 200 miles or more to reach a provider. They estimated about 2/3 of women in those states would find a way to reach an open facility, but 1/3 would not, resulting in 75,000 fewer abortions per year. I think it's probably a conservative estimate, she said. In 2019, at least 629,898 abortions were reported in the U.S., according to the CDC. So what has been driving the decrease year over year is contraception, according to this. Experts believe the decades-long decline in abortion has largely been driven by better access to birth control, especially long-term reversible contraception. Quote, Fewer people are getting pregnant overall because of improved access, unquote, said Sarah Monroe, a health outcomes researcher and professor in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at the University of British Columbia in Canada. The biggest shift has been in access to IUDs and contraceptive implants. These now go by the term LARC, L-A-R-C, long-acting reversible contraception, said Carol Jaffe, a professor of reproductive sciences at the University of California, San Francisco. She said, quote, "The first generation of these were very problematic and caused some deaths and injuries. Now they're very safe." IUDs are now the third most popular method of birth control among American women. Permanent contraception, sterilization, is first at 28%. Wow, that surprises me. I didn't know that.
A lot.
Birth control pills, second at 21%, followed by IUDs and birth control implants at 16%, according to the CDC. The, quote, get it and forget it contraception methods last for up to 10 years and are very effective, Jaffe said. That, by the way, that might help to explain why the birth rate has been on a decline. Actually, birth rates have been on a decline globally.
A long time.
Yeah. It says here, health insurance also has made a difference. An increase in the number of Americans who have health insurance brought on by the passage of the Affordable Care Act of 2010 is also thought to have contributed to the drop in abortions because more people had access to both health care and insurance that paid for contraception. The cost of birth control for women decreased and the use of birth control increased, said Dr. Linda Rosenstock, a UCLA Fielding School of Public Health professor of health policy and management. She said, quote, birth control went from representing more than 20% of all out-of-pocket healthcare costs down to 3%, unquote. Let's see. A 2020 survey found that 2/3 of OBGYNs reported an increase in contraceptive intake from their parents since the ACA was implemented. The largest predictor of whether a woman will have an abortion is whether her pregnancy was unintended. Rosenstock said, quote, in the United States each year, about half of pregnancies are unintended and about 40% of those lead to abortion. Access to birth control leads to fewer abortions, unquote. Now, this part's particularly interesting because another statistic that I've been seeing over the years is teenagers, because obviously teen pregnancy is a problem, teens are waiting longer to have sex than they used to, and this is very good. It says here, another factor experts suggest is a reduction in teen sexual activity. By the way, it's a surprise in some ways, right? Because I know there's people who have this idea that, you know, every generation is more, you know, sexually promiscuous and that it's just a free-for-all out there and, you know, and it's not necessarily the case.
That's right.
So the younger someone is, the more likely they are to have an unintended pregnancy. The highest rates are in sexually active women aged 15 to 19, according to the Guttmacher Institute. Between 2009 and 2019, federal surveys show the rate of high school students who had sex fell from 46 to 38%. The number of lifetime sexual partners fell from 13.8 to 8.6, and the number who were sexually active fell from 34 to 27%. The majority also used birth control. The age at which teens initiate sexual activity is also rising. Like I said, the teens are waiting longer. Monroe said, quote, it's happening later now than compared to previous generations. It's a trend we're observing both in the U.S. and in Canada, unquote. Exactly why teen sexual activity is diminishing and happening later isn't entirely known, though better access to both sexual and reproductive health information may be playing a role, said Rosenstock. Long term, that will lower the overall demand for abortions by decreasing the number of unwanted pregnancies, she said. She said, quote, the broader the access to proven family planning methods, the lower the unintended pregnancy rate and the lower the abortion rate. We can't underestimate the role of educating and empowering women and men about these issues, unquote. So, I wanted to bring that up because that goes to what I've been saying. If you really want to be, pro-life, great. I'm all for it. Let's all be pro-life, but pro-life should mean being pro-contraception, pro-education, pro-resources. If you really want to be serious about it, maybe, make sure, obviously in some areas, I'm sure there's, low income people, people who are indigent can go to, clinics and get access to free contraception if needed. But you need to maximize the accessibility and minimize the cost. If you're really serious about cutting down abortions. And again, it's funny. I always think about this too, because we talk about the importance of education. Years ago, I think it was the first, Rick Perry, he's run for president a couple of times. I think this might have been the first time he was running for president. In the state of Texas at the time, and I assume this is still the case, under Governor Rick Perry, they had gone to a strictly abstinence-only policy in terms of sex ed. In other words, no sex education in schools. Abstinence only. That was the policy. That is what they would promote, and that's it. And Texas also, at the same time that they had gone to this policy, began to see the highest rate in teen pregnancies in the United States. And I remember Rick Perry being asked about it in an interview, and he really didn't have an answer. He just said, well, abstinence works. And it's like, okay, well, yeah.
Not working in Texas.
Abstinence works in the sense that, yeah, if you abstain, you're not going to have a pregnancy,
That's right.
obviously. But abstinence-only education does not work. And, and that has been shown not only in Texas, but in other states. It's just simple. It's common sense, right? The less access to education and contraception, the higher the rate of unwanted pregnancy. And the higher the rate of unwanted pregnancy, the higher the rate of abortion. So, I just say to pro-lifers, let's all work together. You're not... outlawing abortion is not going to fix the problem. You're going to see a big, a return to back alley abortions, bathtub abortions, and other terrible things. And of course, you're going to see people trying to go to states where they can still get it. So it's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it. The way to do it is through contraception and education, and we need to get. Obviously, not everyone who's pro-life takes this view, but there's a lot of pro-life activists and politicians who also take the view that not only are they opposed to abortion, but they're also opposed to any kind of birth control. They equate that somehow to an abortion, and we need to get them away from that.
They were sold a bad sale of bill.
A bad sale of Bill.
Well, I'm probably saying it wrong because of my friend. They were sold a concept that does not work, and you just proved it.
Yes, absolutely.
When you force people to do your will, it doesn't solve the problem. They have to want to do it.
Yeah.
And you're not being enticed. Actually, people get angry when you tell them what to do. So that's not the way to go about it. That's not communicating. You wonder why we're so divided.
Tom Blanchard in the chat room says, life is so different now to me. If you keep your legs together, you won't need an abortion. Well, I think that's always been the case, Tom. I don't think it's any different now.
I would think so. No, I don't think it's different.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Well, we are running out of time, so we'll begin to wrap up. Glenn R.J. Willett, thank you so much.
Can I say one thing?
Of course.
Ted Cruz said last night that how dare someone leak that draft, that they ought to be caught and go to prison for a long, long time, if not for life.
Wow.
Excuse me? We're talking our Supreme Court taking away people's rights, and you want to keep it a secret? I'm sorry. He needs to, he probably should step down. He doesn't represent his people.
No. You know what I would just add to that? What's funny about the draft is people are assuming that it was either one of the liberal justices or a liberal
I don't think so.
court
I
clerk
think
or
it's
somebody.
a lower clerk.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Somebody who's working.
People are assuming it was somebody on the liberal side of things who was opposed to this, and that's why they leaked it.
It may not be.
It's entirely possible that it was someone who
on the conservative side
who supports this and did it to actually lock Justice Alito in, not give him any room to change his mind.
And then remember, that was in February, and it's going to come out in June, so they could very well be tightening their T's and their I's and changing things. We don't know.
Yeah.
I do know that the approaches that are now going around the country should tell you something. And I believe it's between 68 and 72% that are not in favor of taking away this right.
Yeah, the polling data is, the Republican Party could really pay a heavy price for this. Even in Florida, and this actually surprised me a little bit, but in Florida, very high numbers oppose overturning Roe v. Wade. And like I was saying the other day, these Republican governors like DeSantis, who
wants to run for president,
they're going to be in a very awkward position when they try to be as far right as they can on everything. But what are they going to do when they find themselves having to do something? Not having to, but they feel like they have to do something to appeal to the base that is not going to play well with the general populace.
I could never vote for DeSantis for president for the reason that
me neither.
He wants to. He's another Putin, maybe not quite as bad, but he wants to rule the people. No more choices. We are losing our freedoms, and our children are they're already beginning to see it.
Well, to me, DeSantis is just a smarter, more sophisticated Trump.
Yeah.
Which makes him that much more dangerous. All right. On that note, we do have to wrap up. Glenn, thank you.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thank you to everyone who called today. Thank you again to Rocky Huber for bringing us those delicious tacos from the Hop Knot.
They were great.
If you're in the area, of course, the taco tour goes until 8 p.m. I will be up next at 6 p.m. I will be calling in, as I do the first Thursday of every month, to the Dr. Kevin Show for a discussion of politics and current events. Oh, whatever will we talk about? I wonder. So that is coming up at 6 p.m. on the Ohm Times Radio Network. You can go to ohmtimes.com/IOM for that. Ohm, yes. And don't forget, tomorrow on the show, it'll be time for Eric Pilcher's classic film review, as we do every Friday. And this week, the subject is The Graduate. So come on downtown, enjoy some tacos. And if you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org. And at my website, mattconnerton.com. That's it for us for now.
Happy Mother's Day.
Talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.